Hello Lumsy team, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Lumsy. I'm back again with another video. Guys, today's video is how to make basic bodice block for beginners. This is purely for beginners, so I'm going to be making it very detailed that you will understand it. Anybody, even if you have not cut before, you'll be able to cut this. So let's start with today's video. First, we're going to square out a line, and that line would be our shoulder line. So I'm going to highlight it more so that you will see exactly what I'm doing. So this is the shoulder line. Next we're going to get is the armhole depth. So the length from your shoulder to the armhole, mine is 8 inches, and I'm going to square it out like so. Next you will get is shoulder to your waistline, and mine is 15 inches. I'm going to mark that here and square it out. Next you're going to get is from your waistline. You're going to be marking from your waistline to the hip line. This is the waistline, so we're getting the hip line. My hip line from my waist is 7.5 inches. I'm marking it there. And then the next line you're going to get is the length of the skirt from your waist to the desired length. So after getting all those measurements, next for us to do is on this armhole line and the shoulder line, we're going to be getting the shoulder length, which is 7 inches. It's 14 inches divided by 2, which is 7 inches, and I'm going to mark it here and square it out on the armhole line and the shoulder line. Next I'm going to get is the width of the neck. The neck width I'm working with is 3 inches. I'm going to mark it here, and remember this is the front, so I'm going to get the neck depth for the front. So the neck depth for the front I'm using is 3.5 inches. I'm going to mark it here, and I'm going to connect this line to the shoulder line. The next is for me to drop the shoulder sloping. The shoulder sloping I'm working with is 1.5 inches, so I'm going to drop it here 1.5 inches. And I'm going to be connecting that line to the shoulder neckline. I'm going to divide this by 2 if I want to make the curve for my sleeve, for my armhole, but let me just mark it and later we will come to that. I will come in here 0.5 inches. I'm going to connect it like that, but let's first of all get the round measurement. So for my body measurements, I am going to be getting round my hip measurements. Whatever it is, I am going to divide that by 2, and I will add 0.5 inches to that. So if I divide it by 2, whatever I get, I'm going to be adding ½ inch to that. So I'm going to mark that now and get whatever I'm getting, and I will square it down like that. Now this line will now be the center back, because we are cutting for both the back and the front together. So I'm going to square this up. Now this line will be the line for the center back. I'm going to just write it here to note that. So this is the front and this is the back. Now for us to get the midpoint of the front and the back, we are going to measure whatever we have here and we divide that by 2. Whatever we have, I'm going to mark it to get the center of to get the side seam. So I'm going to divide that, and what I have gotten, I'm going to mark it here, and I will drop it down connect all the lines, and that will be the side seam. Now we'll get the neck width. The neck width, as you know, is 3 inches. I'm going to mark it here. And then the neck depth is 1 inch. I'm going to mark it there. Connect this line. This will be the back neckline. So I'm going to be getting the shoulder line. The shoulder line, remember, is 7 inches. I'm going to mark it here, and I'm going to connect it to the armhole line. And on the shoulder line, I'm going to drop the shoulder sloping 1.5 inches, just like the front shoulder line. So I'll connect these lines like so. After getting the shoulder sloping for the both sides, the next thing is for us to curve the armhole. Make the armhole curve. For the back, just like I did in the front, I would divide this by 2 and I would connect these lines like so. This time around, for the back, I'm not going in 1/2 inch, but for the front, remember, I already went in 1/2 inch, 0.5. So I'm going to connect this like so. You can actually connect yours using the armhole curve, but I'm used to this, so I'm just going to use my free hand and do that. Next, I'm going to go to the waistline. Before I do that, I'm going to be getting the bust pan. Mine is 1.75, so I'm going to mark it here, and I'm going to square it out from the armhole line. I'll square this out. Then I'm going to be getting the bust point for the front. From that, I'm going to drop down 1 inch for the bust point. So this will be the bust point. Then on the waistline, I'm going to be getting that width of 1 inch. So I'm going to be spreading the 1 inch on both sides, 1/2 inch on the other side and 1/2 on the other side. I'm going to drop this down 5.5 inches or 5 inches, depending on what you want. So I'm going to connect all these lines for the front darts. Then on the seam, I'm going to be coming in 1 inch for the dart on the waist. I'll connect these lines like this. So for the front and back, it actually has darts. So on the back, I'm also going to do the same thing, 1.75 for the bust span. That's the same thing I'm using for the back. I'll connect all these lines, and I'm going to make the waist dart for the back. So the same thing, I'm going to be taking in 1 inch. I'm spreading it on the both sides, coming down 5.5 inches, depending on what you want. So for the side back seam, I'm going to go in 0.75. With this, I have come to the end of this video, and the next thing you will do is to get the sleeve. If you haven't watched the video where I made one-piece sleeve, I will drop that in the description section, so you go ahead and watch how to make your sleeve. I'll drop it in the description or up there. So see you on my next video. Bye bye.